Hey everybody, happy Sunday morning. It is about 8 o'clock here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on Sunday morning, July, June, it's June, I knew that, June 13th, 2021. Yesterday was my grandmother Truxo, she's in hospice, it's her 91st birthday, so I brought her some multicolored roses and some pork rinds, but she couldn't eat those, so I ate most of those. And then what else happened? I got her card and everything like that. Um, I'm afraid it might be like her last birthday, but 91 is awesome. Um, and I've just been dealing with some things that I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about. Having a hard time remembering any of them since I started the video right now. But let's read this to start it off on Sunday morning, and then I do have some things I wanted to talk about. I know it's Sunday morning, so I'm going to read this. We're going to start with a prayer, and then I want to talk about. I just want to tell you all what I want to talk about. I want to talk about like how I'm seeing everything, what I think would be a good idea, or what I'm doing to kind of protect myself more as we move forward. What are our contractors going to be worried about with how everything's going, and what can we do to hit the certain spots that we need to hit? And I'm not talking about violence, obviously, but with emails, calling people, and everything like that. What do we need to do to maybe those contractors are kind of scared about they're getting scared more and more scared about liability, right? Because things are coming up and they're stalling it in certain ways. Let's pray and then I can talk about that. I just wanted to talk about like I want to talk about a couple of things, and it shouldn't be long. It shouldn't be too long. A little Sunday morning video, but kind of just me talking. I've got a lot of information up on that, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on, like researching and going through things and things like that, because it's an important time. You know, we still got a ways to go, guys, because everyone's stalling and trying to hide this. Let's start with a prayer. Let's start with a prayer, guys. And you see, let's start with a prayer. Okay, in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, in the name of Jesus Christ. Love is patient, love is kind, love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable, oops, uh, or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. Amen. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. I love that. Love is patient, love is kind, love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Become earnest about the word, for as the word, its first part is faith, the second, love, the third, works. For from these come life, faith, love, and works, right? Come life. Now, we're saved. We're saved by the grace of Jesus, right? What Jesus did on the cross. But faith plus love plus works helps you to save lives, helps you to heal yourself, helps you to heal others, right? Faith, love, and works. Love is so important. There's a science to it. Jesus was talking about it, and people were seeing it in this like kind of airy fairy way, right? But he was a scientist. He knew what he was talking about. For God, for God loved the world so much that he gave his one and only Son, so that everyone who believes in him will not perish but have eternal life. God sent his Son into the world not to judge the world, but to save the world through him. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. But this shall all men know, that ye are my disciples, if ye love one another. Amen. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Okay, so this morning I kind of just wanted to casually talk about how I'm seeing things right now. Of course, I don't have all the information from what everybody's doing and all the activism that's going on or everything, But from my thinking, from my thinking now and everything, and I'm going to be going through the exact words in the legislation and kind of what Susan Collins wrote about it in my next video, and some of those things, some very important information. I'm going to have some very important information. We're going to go through it and read the exact wording right. But it does look like in the legislation, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know this, that it's intelligence agency workers and governmental workers, right? That they have written legislation to give them monetary assistance and health assistance. And what I see though is what's happening. I would gander in kind of the way that my attackers are acting, but we've got to just chalk all that up to psyops, right? Um, but it's weird how that my attackers were hitting me way harder, when all this was coming out. Like I was this huge liability, right? And then when I started sending my emails to those senators, right, in the Senate Intelligence Committee, my state senators, and now I'm writing an email to the State Department, which I'll show you. I kind of want to get it's taking that email to the senators and it's making it so it's not written to a senator, but it's written to the State Department. And I'm trying to kind of figure out how it needs to sound and the wording and everything like that. And then I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys after I send it. Um, but what I'm thinking is with what's going on, the contractors and the security industry specialists that are hitting citizens like me and you guys, maybe some of y'all are governmental workers. I would call the NHS and report that, right? But my thinking is that since the contractors are going to be more and more worried about liability, now is an important time, and I'm sure a lot of targeted individuals have already thought of this. But for the ones who are just like, what do we do at this time? My thinking is get your name in the hat, right? Get your name to those senators, like your first and last name, and that you're being hit by this stuff, right? Because then there's going to be less of a chance of your contractors killing you or trying to create some kind of false flag with you, right? They're not going to be pushing on that stuff because there's going to be documented. Um, you're going to have your first and last name documented and what you're going through sent out to all these senators at a point where remote directed energy attacks are something that people know about, right? And it's going to come out more and more. They're stalling, and this I want to say. So like I'm gonna be working on a lot of paperwork and crossing my T's and dotting my I's and everything like that. And so I kind of did. I'm gonna pull away to kind of just single videos. Not sure what's gonna go on for the future, but I gotta, like I was saying, I gotta tighten up. My focus is bad. This is what I've kind of seen just from the last couple of days. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see more, but when your focus is really divided, and this is what's happened to me like when your focus is very divided, and I'll just speak in very general terms, it seems like the mind control is way more efficient on me when I'm not tightened up and focused down, when I'm just not even distractions, right? Like I ain't even talking to because like so many targeted individuals are hurting and being tortured, and we want to get out of this. What do we do? But so many people fielding like texts and everything because I have the live stream, and then the mind control gets worse. So it's like I almost to beat the mind control and what's happening to me, I kind of got to pull back a little bit and focus on what I'm seeing here, right? Because we're entering in new territory. The sad thing is, I think we have a little ways to go. It's not. I hope I'm wrong. I'm hoping that snap, 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 the UN does something, and then this comes out. But what we've got to realize, there was this movie where somebody was basically fighting a horror movie monster, and he said, to beat something, you must first understand what a. It was a doctor. It was in Saw. The doctor in Saw. He was a surgeon, and the other guy was like, "Why are you saying all this? Why are you trying to say that this guy has everything figured out?" And he's like, "Well, first, to beat anything, to beat a disease, you must understand what a perfect engine of destruction it is, right? You can't downplay what you're fighting. You got to understand it, right? And so we've got to understand that millions and more than millions of people all over the world are being tortured and experimented on. So it's like with this, oh, these 120 governmental workers, they're being tortured, and we're writing a bill to take care of them as the investigation goes on. Now, where are we sending the people who have reports of being hit with directed energy weapons to the NIH, to the National Institute of Health? What does that say? That says that they're trying to kind of stall some more by putting it in the hands of health people who work on stuff that naturally happens in the body, right? That'll buy them some time. That'll buy these evil people some time by making everybody call the NIH because they can say, well, we weren't sure that it was weapons, right? When that's BS, the Pentagon does know it's weapons. They use these weapons on their own citizens and on agents and everything in other countries too. Everybody everybody that's within this investigation at the top knows what these weapons are and knows what they can do and knows why these people getting hit are having the symptoms that they do. Then they're hiding it, and they are a threat to national security for hiding this, for hiding how these weapons work, because it's going to make the NIH and people in DHS fusion centers who aren't completely clear on how the weapons work but are involved in the gang stalking kind of just waste time, right? Waste time and money. They're going to throw in maybe millions of dollars into investigations that they're sure will pull away from what the real truth is, right? So we've got a big problem. It's happy time that this is coming out and people are being hit, but the way that they're doing it, and I'm afraid, guys, they've got stuff set up and everything. They've got stuff set up everywhere to try and push a narrative, right, and stall. And there are lots of kids being tortured and killed. We're being tortured, and my brain, I don't. It's a little when I can pull it in tight and just focus on a couple of things, and I've really got to focus because like things are changing, so I've got to watch the terrain and see where we can go. And I'm sure a lot of people are doing, thinking of a million different things, tons of great stuff. But I know that's going to be the best thing for me and I think for all of us, right? Or at least just for my YouTube channel, right? Moving forward. And we may do some different stuff coming up, but right now, I just gotta like, not this. I don't know what this is, but does Batman do something? Because Batman's really cool. I gotta do this. I gotta fly away. Um, what else was I gonna say? Yeah, so my thinking on it is I'm sending my senator letter to everyone, my 6 state representatives, my 2 state senators, which John Kennedy is hilarious. I don't know if he'll help us in this. And then the Senate Intelligence Committee, State Department, DHS, NIH. I'm going to send something else to the UN again, and I want my name out there everywhere with the people who are just finding out about this and maybe could be doing something about this. Now, a ton of targeted individuals are sending these people emails and things like that. I think it's a good idea, not only in that it can put pressure on senators, the UN, all these people to eventually have to say something about this, or they are planning, because it's such a huge thing that they may. This is what I don't. This is conjecture. Okay, this is conjecture. Conjecture for me is that these politicians and like the UN are speaking with these intelligence agencies to try and get these things stopped, but they're cooperating with the intelligence agencies to give them more time to figure out how to stop it and not have a complete global breakdown, right? Because if everybody in every country found out how many people they're torturing and experimenting on in front of their own families, and communities are like spitting on us and gang stalking us and treating us like shit, it probably would implode every country. I don't know. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. But I do. I kind of think there's some like the people, maybe politicians who know a little bit more, and intelligence agencies that know more. They're kind of planning on how they're going to roll out this awareness and in these things, right? Or at least change them so much. Um, that it would be a lot better for us. Just conjecture right now. Also, okay, here's some more conjecture. Um, the Senate Intelligence Committee, even if they were not told directly by the CIA and the Pentagon or whoever the Pentagon and CIA sends in to speak with the Senate Intelligence Committee, even if they didn't directly tell them, that regular citizens are being experimented on, I think they know. And I don't think that this is conjecture. I don't think it's that political reprisal that these politicians are scared of to not speak about the citizens that are getting tortured, like these weapons being used just all over the world to map the brain, to destroy the brain, to Rosette Sung the person, to try and get people to do false flags, try and get people to commit suicide and all this stuff. I think they know, but I think that it's not political reprisal that they're afraid of. And this may be really obvious, but I want to say it in a certain way, in a kind of, okay, I'm speculating here, and I think that those senators in the Senate Intelligence Committee, they'd be afraid of their families getting tortured or death, right? If they just come out and said this. So there has to be some process at work where and we're going to have to push it, right? Because the process at work is to stall. Is they know that eventually this is going to come out, that citizens are being hit, but they're trying to handle it in the percentages, right? Just like they tortured people and they'd grab people into these torture programs by percentages, so it would kind of go unnoticed or a little bit less noticed, right? Because think about it, if they pulled in 3% of the population all at once to target them, it would be noticed. It'd be this huge thing. So they pull in percentages at a time. So I think what they're doing with fixing this is like, okay, the CIA agents and like embassy workers, we're going to go ahead and give them monetary help and medical help and everything like that. Then we're going to go with family members of government workers and stuff like that, and then they'll eventually get, like, they're doing it in these percentages because they can't our system is not equipped to handle fixing this situation, right? Our system is equipped to just do it all, but do 24-hour a day torture and violence and gang stalking. It's totally equipped because that's what they've been planning, right? That's what the people at the top of the pyramid and the systems all the way down have been building for a long time. We're just not equipped to save each other's lives, right? And what I mean by that is to stop these brutal, brutal programs. We need to stop them when people know about them because it's wrong, right? But they're so big that now society's not equipped to do the moral thing, right? It shows you the failure of society. It shows you the failure of these systems that we've set up, that they could be taken over so easily, and these levers could be put in to stop people from saving each other's lives, because the technology's so advanced. People aren't even talking about this stuff. People are talking about everything else under the sun besides, and no, people are talking about it. People are talking, but just not on a scale of like the things that Tim Pool talks about or Steven Crowder, that kind of thing. And it should be even bigger than that. What we get, and I'm going to show some videos on that, we get these punks, these little punks that are pulling out these Oculus VR things. Oh, I'm going to show you this video, and I hate this guy who does. I'm going to have a Dr. Todd Grande segment of just like yelling at him, and I'm gonna have a segment with this other guy that he seems to be the one who's like, oh, this VR Oculus is so cool, and it's where it's like reading your occipital lobe, basically reading your visual cortex and occipital lobe. And then they've got these new things from Facebook. We're going to be looking into them where it's like little wristbands, but it's reading a signal from the brain, right? You know how our attackers read our inner voice? When you think in your inner voice, these muscles and these muscles, um, you're making little imperceptible movements in your jaw and your throat, and it goes all the way down to your wrist. So they can have like a little wristwatch to know exactly what you're thinking, because it's really your imperceptible mouth movements when you're thinking, right? So, and that's just one way. I do think that our attackers, the directed energy stream, bidirectional stream, can also get inner voice from just directly from the language center. You know, I think they do both. Um, but yeah, so I wanted to say that like that's kind of what I'm getting my paperwork and everything, and I'm going to do those calls to the State Department. I don't know if I'll be able to put them up on video, but also family issues and stuff. We all have like things that we're crawling to try and get done with our family and making money and things like that, which but and then okay, so then I had a story. Okay, so that's kind of just what I wanted to go over this Sunday morning about like where my head's at moving forward, right? And I'm still going to be doing stuff on YouTube, guys. So I'm still going to be working. I'm still going to be working on this. It's just we have a ways to go, and I'm always talking about switching footing, right? So I'm praying with God. I'm even compromising with God. I love the live streams. We exchange. It's almost like they're crucial at this point in time. So I hate stopping them, but I'm going to lose my mind. That's the simple answer, guys. If I don't back up a little bit, like my attackers like use all these things that I'm doing in my remote neural manipulation, and when there's too much on my mind and I'm not focused, the mind control gets very, very bad. So I have to kind of like tighten it up, focus on the information. And during this time, also, please do comment on my videos. I'm going to make a bigger effort, no promises, but a bigger effort to respond to comments that are very, very crucial, especially links to things that are going on. Please put links to like activism, those websites, like two great examples on the last live stream, True Kism, uh, um, uh, put like a website. It was like a French website to help targeted individuals. I think it's an international organization. So things like that, like international organizations that are trying to help target individuals or any kind of activism that cry out for Havana syndrome is going to be on the 20. So it's in the 27th through the 30th. Am I getting that date wrong? I'll put that up on another video. But those things are really important. So email me. Please leave comments. If it's something important you want me to do a video about, something that's going on, I'm still going to do that. But I just kind of got to do it in a different way right now. It makes me feel more focused. It makes me feel like I can focus on the things that I really think are important, and then nothing else matters, right? I want it. I want it. Well, let's not go into that. We'll talk about that later. But I want to tell y'all a story. Really, I've had a harsh time. I think these past 2 weeks. I don't remember what live stream it was on. Maybe it was the last one. I think it was the last live stream. But I was telling y'all how. Ooh, and I don't even want to say it because they might do something. I was saying how Pepper's really strong, and my attackers would try and make her like go to the bathroom, poop and pee on the floor, but she fights it, right? And I do think that's true when they're doing a certain level. The day after, like, so I did that live stream, and I woke up the next morning. Now, this was like, I guess it was, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Time is going by really fast. It couldn't have been more than 2 weeks ago. So I wake up and the smell is horrible. The smell is so bad. It's not just like regular. It's premium. And at first I'm like, I bet you my attackers are just messing with my smelling. What's that called? Your I can't remember what it's called, but I know what that's called. But when they're sending a signal to the brain, they can make you smell stuff, right? And they'll do that occasionally. I'll wake up and I'll smell because they've saved that. Whenever I do have smelled before my dog cleaning up my dog's stuff, they got that. They got that EEG of me smelling that, and they can put it back, right? But this was really bad, and I woke up and it was like in 5 spots. She had peed in 2 spots, and then the rest, like 5 spots other than the pee spots. So that's like 7 spots, and then like 5 spots where it was like on the mirror in the hallway and stuff. Really bad. And that was after the live stream where I was like, oh, well, Pepper just fights back against that stuff. So they were like, yeah, they wanted to show me, yeah, right, if we want to do it. But she was like sick for like a couple of days, like going and breathing heavy because her stomach hurt so bad. So they were like really hurting her, like my poor baby. And then after that, let me say a warning. I might have to do a short video where I just say this because I've been taking those probiotics, right? They're good. The probiotics are good. They make my brain feel like it's more focused. They make my body feel healthier. However, you remember I was talking about drinking that smoothie and then have the applesauce, and I thought that's what created all this pain in my stomach and everything. Well, the other day, and I've been taking the probiotics for like 2 months. The other day, I drank a Starbucks Frappuccino, and my stomach started hurting a little bit. It was kind of the same way, and I was like, "What? Why? And is it just gas or whatever?" But then later on in the day, I drank a Dunkin' Donuts like milk coffee thing, right? Just straight liquid milk coffee. Chugged it down. After that, oh my gosh, for the next like 2 days, pretty much, right here, like right on your chest, it was like it felt like my colon was bleeding, and like it felt like I was having continuous gas, and then it's like my attackers kind of like were shooting microwaves in my stomach because I was like nauseous just from the natural um, probiotics. When milk mixes with probiotics, at least in my system, it is deadly. It is not good. It's not deadly, but you feel like your stomach hurts so bad. It hurts so bad like that I questioned it, are my attackers doing all of this right? But it's not. It's literally like if you're taking the kind of probiotics I'm taking, which are these Dr. Dr. Ohhira's, right? Dr. Ohhira's probiotics. You drink milk with it. For me, it was like losing 2 days in like just massive pain. I had to recover from it. I had to recover from it because like I was getting nauseous, and my attackers can give me a nauseous feeling, so I was naturally nauseous. Then they made me more nauseous, hit me in the stomach with a microwave, and I was throwing up all night. I don't even like it's the I don't throw up a lot, but you know how you're like, how do I have all that stuff in my stomach? Like what's the deal? How does my stomach hold all that stuff? I mean, it was that bad. It's like that much. So I wanted to give a warning to people: if you're taking probiotics, be careful with milk. Cheese seems to be okay. Like I eat cheese and I'm fine. It's a different pasteurization, but my thinking on it is you have the probiotics. It's good bacteria in your gut. It's misreading pasteurized milk products as bad bacteria that it's got to fight back against, right? And it's a whole lot of it going through your system when you're chugging down milk. And I was chugging milk that day. It was real bad, guys. It was very, very bad, real bad. It was real bad. But now I'm pretty much better. I do still feel a little bit of pain and soreness like up my colon, but I'm going to continue to take the probiotics and not drink any milk, right? And I've been I guess a little bit lactose intolerant. Like I get a little bit gassy, but I think everybody does kind of. But it's never been like painful, right? And I feel like some pain in my kidneys. Um, and then I don't know what else I had right now, but I'm gonna be putting up I'm gonna be going through the legislation and how it's written exactly what we need to look at. Really like I've got to get some of those calls off. I guess my priority is getting my email to the State Department, but then also I want to do the affidavit. So what I'm trying to do is just figure out what kind of paperwork I'm going to need to get ready, and then I might do some other projects too, and then do some videos, on that stuff. So I'm still going to be fighting, but I want to do it on a more focused kind of uh, what I think is good to do, right? The man, they're so great. We need them. Like we need somebody to do live streams. I don't want to go into all that and everything, but just the targeting so bad and psyops are so bad and everything like that, that I felt like we've still got some. It's not like the program's going to be ended in a month, And like if the program was going to be ended in like a month or 2 months, I'd keep on doing live streams. But it seems like we have a ways to go, and so I've got to kind of tighten up and heal as much as I can. Then we're gonna, I'm still gonna be doing stuff, and then we'll see. We'll see what's good for us, right? We'll see what'll help us the most. And I hope you guys are hanging in there out there. Um, please use some of these defenses. I haven't had a lot of money to just try a bunch of new defenses, but these I would really recommend. These I think I've recommended them. I'm going to get another one because when I take off this other headgear, I'll start getting really dizzy. But then if I put these on, like I don't feel as dizzy or nauseous, right? Or like they're putting me to they can put me to sleep, right? They can put us to sleep, and I don't feel that as much with these on. So it feels like they're doing something streamed to the top of the head for me. But they use different protocols for some of us, right? Which is the most awful thing because we know that these are integrated directed energy weapon systems, and they use different ways of delivering the electromagnetic frequencies and photonics to the body through the eyes sometimes, through the vestibular system sometimes, through both sometimes, and the cranial nerve sometimes, but sometimes just one or the other, right? So all these people reporting to the NIH and stuff like that, they're going to be reporting these different medical symptoms, right? And then it's going to be easier to go, well, these can be a bunch of different things, right? It's very scary. It's very scary, not because like, oh, well, they're sending it to the NIH and they'll definitely figure out that, they've already figured out that this is not medical. These aren't just natural medical things happening. So I don't know why they would be referring anybody to the NIH. Yet we need to just everyone just call these people that they've said, hey, contact these people. We just need to flood them over, just flood them and just crush it. Just crush through those walls, right? That was a very lame way of doing. You, you crush through those walls, right? So that's my thinking right now, and I'm trying. That's just like initial thinking on this is get my hat in the ring and all those, and I'm sure a lot of other targeted individuals have already done that. We need to be signing petitions and things like that. We need to be getting her because we're so close to getting over the hurdle of complete public awareness. Once that happens, we'll have power. We'll have power that so court cases can be settled and it won't be covered. It won't be like, oh, that's national security. Once it's out in the public and the national security drops because people know that actually what they're doing is against national security and actually stopping this torture is for national security, then we'll have some of those wins. I think that's how I see it, right? Some other people they'd be like, we need a court case first, and then all this other stuff's going to come, right? So people see it different ways, but I just wanted to kind of tell y'all where my mind's at right now, and get and really, if you're going to like write an email to the State Department, make it good. I'm going to try and make mine as good as possible. And my senator email was okay, but because of my lack of focus, I tend to just speed through these things, right? I've been conditioned over the last couple of years to just like throw stuff together, right? Because I'm in so much pain, and let's just do a live stream and we'll just read this. I got to kind of change. I got to kind of get more organized, get my focus more organized against this mind control, and it does um, seems like my attackers are scared. My attackers are not scared. My attackers are unhappy that I quit the live streams. They're very unhappy about that. In certain ways, when you're hooked to people for almost a decade, you just know when they're happy about something, like when they're really hurting me, and when they're really upset about something. Because I think they were used, like, I mean, the live streams are great, right? But it's like they got a lot more help, I think, in networking and things, and I was a lot more. They could do a lot more things to me. Um, like this is a thing. It's like they're not hurting my cheek and my jaw as much since I've stopped the live streams. Now me doing these videos, I haven't seen how they're gonna react. Um, but It just needed to be done. I prayed a lot about it, guys, and I understand there's pros. There's lots of pros, right? And I mean good stuff that we need. It was but there's some cons. You know, there's some cons that it's like even some cons that I'm not too sure about, right? And then I didn't really want to get into all this. I know that y'all, you know, most of y'all are like, you know, just do what you can, and I'm going with that. But I also there's tons of great targeted individuals that have so much good information. I think the live streams you know, do help. So I'm just saying, if anybody else, you know, wants to get up and do live streams, I'll support that. Um, but just definitely, I'm not out of the fight or anything. I'm still being targeted, still trying to like I know another defense. You know, if I could get two new things for defenses right now, you know, I have the grounding, I have noise canceling hearing aids, I have Dave Case CD that I use, which is just a miracle. The some of this passive shielding really does block some of the layers, right? If I could get two new things right now, just off the top of my head, I would get the entrainment device. It's like $300, and that entrainment device can change the resonance of your brain to to the resonance you want it at, right? And then it'd be harder for our attackers to connect. And then I would get some kind of oxygen, like some kind of oxygen, at least an oxygen machine to pump oxygen into my lungs at night when I sleep. Those would be the two things that I would get if I had like that money right now. I know there's some other things that people are working on. Obviously, we need to be cleansing and doing supplements. But definitely now is really the time, guys. If you're a targeted individual that, well, what do we call ourselves now? Survivors of biometric torture. You know, survivors of brain experimentation and biometric torture. I guess there's a whole lot of names for these things, but if you're targeted by this stuff and you're like, well, you know, I don't really want to use defenses or anything like that. Now's really a time to buy some time, right? Because we are seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, but I think all of us are seeing this light at the end of the tunnel, and we're like, how far away is it, right? It looks like it could be close, but it could be kind of far, and that's what right now is about figuring out. How can we make this faster, right? All of us, everyone doing everything that they're doing, right? Every, you know, every organization doing what they're doing, everything. Trying to think of anything else. I just thought that was really kind of tells how our attackers are. You know, the day after I said Pepper's been a good girl and she doesn't go inside, even my attacker, they were like, and then she got sick for 3 days from nothing that I could tell. You know, how long have we been going? I just kind of wanted to give y'all an update. The memory stuff is getting a little bit better as I'm able to kind of just separate a little bit, not separate from you guys, but separate from Hafton. It's hard, and I don't want to go into this stuff, but it's hard. It's I can organize things and stuff like that, but when you're not sure if you're going to have a confrontation, you have a live stream, and you're not sure if you're going to have, you know, it just becomes like, and there's other stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I'm not saying, right? I really just I think y'all understand. I think everybody understands, and I'm gonna be doing good stuff too. So what did I write? Okay, so this is what I wrote about that. What I just said. The more people we write to, the better chance our attackers will ease up because it puts more liability on the contractors. They definitely can't try and make you do some kind of false flag um, because there would be documented proof of your testimony, right? If you're getting documented proof to senators, the UN, and these organizations, if they were to mind control you and you went out and did something real bad, there would be a complete paper trail of you contacting these, you know, high up senators in the intelligence in the Senate Intelligence Committee, right? So, so, so where we're going is good, right? Moving forward is good. The way they're stalling is very. It makes me very angry, and that's why I'm kind of like I gotta reconfigure. Um, Makes me very angry how they're hiding all this. The investigation is a cover up, right? The investigation is a cover up. Nah, check this out, guys. I don't know when I wrote this, but I was writing an idea for a book. Like, cause I kind of want to do projects, but I want to get a little bit like make videos and stuff, but get a little bit from the things that have happened to my body and my brain. Right now, I got to do some quieter projects, right? Um, some of y'all will know what I'm talking about. But as thinking about a name for a book, vulcanized, vulcanized, like Vulcan Wolverine, vulcanized my story of directed energy weapon torture, and then I had an idea for a new YouTube channel called Conspiracy Comedy. I was thinking you could do it with anything conspiracy related, like what's his name? He's like the funniest guy on YouTube with like telling the truth and he's funny about it. Awakening with JP. I love the way he does things because he can be sarcastic and things like that, but people get the point of what he's talking about. So I was like, could I do that? Could I do what he's doing with directed energy weapons? Right. I'm just trying to get good ideas from anybody who's like brilliant and they're doing something completely new, but getting the truth out and not getting censored too, right? It's like the people telling the truth have to get very creative in the way that they tell the truth. You know, he's great. I think I wrote that twice. I wrote on one page. Let me show you guys. I wrote on one page. Can y'all see it? Number one rule of life: go up the middle. just just write like just any kind of thought that I have. I'll just write down because it doesn't work as good. It doesn't work as good as when my memory was good and I could just go through everything. It doesn't work as good. And then I wrote the thing: people not wanting to know something is the best mind control around, and that's what all mind control is based off of in our system right now because people don't have knowledge of what's happening in their society, right? That's why you have people that are more concerned about giving the gay children in their classroom unicorn cupcakes and then berating a straight student who wants a unicorn cupcake too. I don't know if y'all saw that, but very, very dangerous. These things that we're worried about in society, letting a 3-year-old know that they have a choice between dating men or women ain't a good thing to do to a 3-year-old because it's trendy. It becomes trendy, and then you have people that are straight and they're deciding to be gay or bi, and then it makes a culture like that where it's making the decisions for dumb people, right? And this is coming from a guy who had a gay uncle. I had a gay uncle who passed away, and we didn't even have a funeral for him. And I'll guarantee he could get any woman in the world, right? In high school, he's a big ladies' man and everything. But he became like a hair well, it's not just haircuts, but it's like a salon. He owned a salon, an antique store, and he didn't decide to be gay. Like my uncle was gay, you know. I know it from being around him, his history and everything, his partner and everything. Those two did not decide to be gay. They were, and people, and we need to understand. I don't know why we don't talk about this more, but there are tribes of monkeys that when there's too many kids in the tribe, certain monkeys do become gay to take care of the children. Like there's in nature, certain species become gay for certain reasons, right? So that does happen. But when you make a society where you're putting that into little kids' brains, cross dressing and all that stuff, and trying to make it trendy, and then a kid thinks it's trendy to date. A little boy thinks it's trendy to date guys, but then he realizes later, whoa, what did I do? This was just to be trendy. It really wasn't who I was. It was just to fit in, you know. That's when it's very evil. And we know our society is like completely inverted. I don't know how many. I don't know if it's just the globalists that want to destroy America because you got China and Russia too. that are probably doing psyops on us. Um, what else I got? I'm gonna write some better stuff down. And when I do some videos, like some videos on the information, I'll be writing notes. So you target individuals that are like, ah, look, he's reading off. I will be reading off a note sometimes. I'll try not to, but what it can do is it can kind of jumpstart me. That's why I love the live stream so much when my memory was so bad, because you guys would say something, then I'd be like, oh yeah, and then we talk about that, right? That's why I hate letting go of those live streams. But at this point in time and um, what we're dealing with when targeted individuals go in somewhere and try and group up together, I can't. I've been doing it for years and seeing it and just kind of trying to move us forward. But at a certain point, my brain's not doing so well. My emotions aren't as solid as they were like a couple of years ago, and I kind of need to take care of my because like the whole time, this is really true, guys. This is gonna sound highfalutin, but I was like, I am sacrificing myself, and sacrificing yourself is like, I'm gonna get killed for this. I'm gonna get killed for making, but it's worse. It's not that you're killed, your brain's messed up, and you're still going, and they're just your attackers are like, hey, why don't you kill yourself? But they're not killing you, right? They're not killing me. So the sacrifice is just kind of it just goes on and on. So I'm like, well, why don't I pull back from that sacrifice that's not really helping people that much if my brain doesn't work anymore? And then I start fighting this from a new angle, right? Which there's going to be similarities, right? I'm going to be on YouTube and stuff. Um, but I guess I was just kind of talking this morning, Sunday morning. Jesus gave us the most important commandment to love one another. And it's not just a spiritual commandment, and it's not just a religious commandment. It's a secret of science. It's a secret of science. And I was talking about it this morning, like I was just talking to myself, I was literally talking out loud to my attackers, but I'm sure people around me think I was talking to myself. But I was saying how we have electromagnetic frequencies and even photonics and things, and they're on this frequency band that human beings deal with, right? That affect the brain and the body of human beings. But then there's a layer, there's many, many layers up, but there's definitely a direct layer up of a frequency band that's higher resonance that we can't see. And how does it affect us? Does it affect us through the pineal gland? Does it affect us through other means, right? That whoever is dealing with these frequencies or is helping us with these frequencies, still fruit flies, would help us out with. The bad news is, so we deal with this middle frequency band. There's a way higher resonance above that, and then above that, right? There's a chain of high resonances that we're living right here. The bad news is there's lower resonance. Now that's what the top of the pyramid, um, and a lot the system is trying to get everybody down to. And what I'm afraid of, and this is why we've got to fight with love and assertiveness, courageousness, right? Jesus was courageous. He threw over tables, man. He yelled a lot. I mean, he cared about people. Um, if we get down to this level, all of humanity, and these people succeed, humans may not ever be able to go where our Creator wanted us to. Now, if I know the power of our Creator, He's not going to let that happen, right? So there's going to be some way that I'm not seeing, and this could be it, guys, because I know in my life what has happened to me with targeting has changed me in ways where I'd say I wish that wouldn't have happened. Stronger than that, right? Don't have words for how much I wish this didn't happen to me, but at the same time, resisting it in faith with choices to move forward and to love and things like that, it has almost increased my frequency to a place where it's like, oh, humans work on this frequency band and they can have high resonance. It's almost fighting this to not go here, right? To not go here. If you fight that and you resist that, it's like you can pull up with God and you can we can maybe go to new resonances, right? This is all theoretical, but it's science, right? It's science that we've got to figure out more and learn how to measure more, which scarily I do think that these programs are doing. I just don't think they know what they're doing or what they're looking at, and they're basing everything on bad intelligence, right? I think they base everything on bad intelligence because we've got to be the biggest morons in the world or whatever, and a lot of us are very intelligent, but they just tell everybody we're dumb, schizophrenics or whatever. Also thought of this, a random thought. You know how like our attackers are trying to match, um, they're trying to artificially create mental illness, right? Mental injury that looks like mental illness to others. Um, there's a lot of women targets who have body morphing things that are going on, and many other things, like many other specific things, and it's like narcolepsy. They're selling a lot more medication for narcolepsy. And I guess we've talked about this, and some of you might be like, "Oh yeah, duh," but they're trying to create a way uh, to mimic anything in the human realm with directed energy, right? Anorexia. I was thinking about, oh man, this noise canceling hearing aid's going out. Let me just take it off for a second because I'm kind of wrapping up. But I was thinking about that. How they have influencers on YouTube, right? And that girl Eugenia Cooley, who she's had a lot of bouts with anorexia, and she has tons and tons of views. She's one of those influencers that I think YouTube kind of pushed up. But you can imagine some of these younger girls, and maybe they're hooked into with remote neural manipulation. They're not being physically hurt, right? But they have remote neural manipulation. Maybe they're watching Eugenia Cooney, and something from the remote neural manipulation says, "I need to get skinny. I need to look like that." But not only that, that when they look in the mirror, they see themselves, um, you know, bigger than they are, right? So there could be a lot of those things, and not just with anorexia, but with other disorders that they're using directed energy weapons to create more of these disorders so that the pharmacy companies can make medicines for that, right? That's not even the most evil thing that they're doing, right? So I don't know. I mean, I don't know where we're at, like as a whole people, like because people are dealing with important things like um, like these riots and everything, and like Agenda 2030 coming up, and the bad things coming from that. Really speaking out about the tyranny and the biometrics that they understand. And then I see like Steven Crowder, he's fighting back against what the left is doing, but it's not the left doing it, it's globalism. The globalists are using people on the left to make Americans weak and to make us more worried about gender pronouns than the directed energy weapons that are mind controlling all of us to even think of gender pronouns, right? That's a kind of a bad example, because I think people would think about gender pronouns even without mind control. But on a mass scale, we've got to ask, and this has to be this. We've got to bring this out. Everyone is being affected by neuroweapons. We have so much craziness in the world. We have people who they're getting trounced, their lives are going bad, but yet they protect the system that's killing them and killing us. There's mind control involved in that. There's mind control involved in all of that. This is a massive thing. I'm just saying. I guess that's what's it called when you say it all the time. Um, I forgot the word for it. But I really hope you guys are doing good. This was just kind of an update. I hope I got through some things on here that I wanted to tell y'all, but more to come. I'll be making more shorter videos. Like if I kind of want to just get on and tell y'all what's going on with me, it may be like an hour or so. I'm gonna try and keep things short, and then right. So if I'm kind of reeling in, then I really want to do some editing stuff. And I've been putting it off, and I'm always like, and this is the thing, and this isn't why I quit live streams, but I'm always like, well, I need to do something about this. I'll just get on a live stream. We'll just talk, and it's a great thing. It's a great thing with the people that we have and everything like that. There's just some problems with it. There's some problems that I think people know about, and it's too hard. It gets too hard with the mind control being so bad for me, I guess. Um, Gotta tighten up, guys. We gotta tighten up. I know it's happened to a lot of other, targeted individuals who, created groups and stuff like that. It's just, you know, we got some issues with COINTELPRO and, crisis actors and who knows what. And I don't know how many. Like, I'm not thinking there's a ton in there, but there's just some problems. There's just some problems where it's like, if you got a spider sense, some things are really hard to sit in. You know, some things it's like you can sit in them for a good while, and you're getting through it, and you're doing important stuff. But then your spider sense is just, it's just destroying your head, and your attackers can just use your spider sense against you, right? And so you're in these situations where your spider sense is just going off all the time, all the time, all the time, right? And then your attackers use that. So you got to kind of get out of that situation where your spider sense is going off, and then when it goes away, then you're like, okay, now I can do some work, and I still want to communicate with everybody. I'll be trying to read emails more. No promises or anything, but especially important things that you're like, hey Kyle, you didn't this protest is happening, or this is a huge article or anything, and I really appreciate everybody who sent me anything. So I think that's it. We'll go from there. Maybe if I do a movie night or something, um, if I do a movie night or something, I'll definitely post it on YouTube, and we can hang out on. Can't even remember the name, D Live, and we can hang out on D Live, and maybe I don't even want to talk about that right now, because right now I'm tightening up. But I'm just saying, just for now, so I can kind of, I want to be able to focus more and think more, because I can come up with I think some good ideas of directions we can take in this. Um, but yeah, but leave your comments what you think is maybe the most important thing to do now as a targeted individual during this time, the most important person or organization to contact. Put it in the comments, and please email me. I'll be checking those some more. I think that's it, guys. I love y'all. I hope y'all have a great Sunday, a happy Sunday, and we just got to keep moving forward with this. What I'll do, I'm gonna finish up that email to the State Department, and I kind of want to put those out. Like, I kind of want to show y'all what I'm writing, so maybe y'all can just get some ideas for language, for language that you want to use. Um, and that's one of the biggest problems, is because, like, some people that are being hit with this stuff, they don't have a language for it really, and then it's like we even kind of like, oh well, this would be the best word and stuff like that. And then you've got the intelligence agencies, you've got the Pentagon and the CIA calling it Havana syndrome across the board in America, which confuses it more, right? Confuses it more. But the positive thing is they're using remote microwave attacks. They're using almost flipped everybody off. But they're using directed energy weapon attacks. That's so important. And we can connect that with contractors in the United States. I don't know how hard they're going to guard this. I mean, it's so much money, it's so much experimentation. We've got people that are not okay with citizens being tortured, that they know about it. They know about it, but I don't think they're willing to sacrifice themselves or their families to get it out. Like, I think the senators and the intelligence committee, I mean, I think they understand that if they were to come out and say, it wouldn't just be political suicide, it would be like their whole families would get killed. So what does that say about the society we live in? Now, that is conjecture. Maybe they didn't tell them, and maybe the intelligence committee senators are just that stupid. But after you have Marco Rubio and the intelligence committee for the Cuban embassy attacks, and then you got him in this one, and he's been researching everything, and he's been getting emails from targeted individuals since he was in that intelligence committee, because I sent him one in that intelligence committee, and I'm sure a bunch of y'all did too. He knows, and he is staying quiet on it. and he used to be a moral man. Is he still a moral man? Is he still a moral man? And is he thinking, well, I can't just come out and say it because I'll just my family will be hurt, but let me try and make some moves to get this out in a certain way, right? And I think that's what we're not seeing right now, and so we're like everybody's just trying to cover it up. But I feel that like people like Neil Smells or Marco Rubio, Susan Collins, and some of those other senators, they really do know. They understand what they can and can't do right now, but they know, and they're people are talking. People who are not good with this are talking about what they need to do about this. I don't know how much they'll be able to do because like the military industrial complex can just do whatever it wants, and just turn communities against each other and things like that. Um, God will find us a way. God will find us a way. God provides. Um, so I guess that's it, guys. We're going for about an hour. I just wanted to kind of let y'all kind of know what's going on. I've been dealing with the targeting. Memory stuff is better. Like the memory stuff is better, and like I don't want to say distractions because like what everybody's going through is important, is very important. But focus. I guess over the year, I'm trying to do too much, and maybe people. Well, I won't go into all that, but I just kind of wanted to explain that a little bit. I love you guys. I feel empowered being able to speak about this stuff. It's hard with my attackers torturing me, and then the deal is, it's like when you sit in one place for a long time. Like say you get a live stream and you're a real targeted individual. Um, they're not just gonna like not do it. If you're doing the same thing over and over and over, right, for a long time, and I've seen this happen to me. Like I've seen it happen to the live stream. It's like it becomes a watering hole for some people that maybe are not targeted individuals, and I don't want to talk about that stuff because we don't get anywhere with it. And it's like I don't know. I mean, I do want to talk about COINTELPRO. I'll probably do some videos about that. But it's like even if somebody is perpetrator or whatever, and you accuse them, it doesn't do much good. You're still going to have people that believe that they're not. We're not equipped to deal with that in our groups, so I don't want to. There's just some things that the way I'm going to do things. But I love you guys. I'm going to be doing it for me, my family, you guys, to try and help us out of this with my pushing from my little corner, right? Still pushing from my little corner, and just in trying to get more healthy and think of some better ways, right? Because I've been doing things a certain way, kind of let's motivate people and get morale up and everything, and that's the most important thing. But now we actually see real spots that we can hit, right? We're not just like I hope something happens soon. We're seeing this progress, and we have our marks, right? Like, and what I mean by marks, we have actual people that we can send information to and bombard, right, with our testimonies, and then the UN along with what's happening in America, and then like I guarantee you the spark has been lit, so we're going to be seeing this taken on in probably every other country besides China. Um, you know, so. But anyway, guys, I love y'all. I hope y'all have a great Sunday. I just wanted to kind of catch up with y'all, but I will be doing some informational videos and things like that. Um, Also, the new tech is very important. I want to show people the new tech, and I want to show people the monkeys that are advertising this new technology on their YouTube pages and just so excited about it, right? Because people need to know where it came from. It came from a lot of people dying and a lot of people being tortured. These fun little VR games for bread and circuses so that people do even less and less, right? Put them in a little virtual environment and make them comfortable, and then wow, nobody's. I mean, we do actually have people revolting, but uh, that's what you'd call it. But part of a revolution. Revolutions are going on all over the world. They're just not televised at all. The only ones that are televised are the ones that the globalists are using, like BLM and Antifa, right? those get a lot of play, but you have factions everywhere in every country that are fighting back and trying to create revolutions. But that's like the revolution will not be televised. Such a good saying, because when the media is controlled by the Pentagon and the military industrial complex, interest higher than the Pentagon, right? Then information is controlled. Sorry, I'm drinking it's what's in the machine outside. All right, guys, I love y'all. I hope y'all are doing okay. I'm feeling okay right now, but I took like an Ativan and an Orontin and like two kratom like about an hour ago, so I feel okay right now. And I think I'm gonna listen to Dave Case's CD after I, um, finish this video. We'll leave comments if you want to promote your channel. Leave a comment, right? And I'll try and start pinning like the best comments and stuff like that, because I do want interaction with you guys. I see how a lot of targeted individuals, have no interaction. They put out their information. I do feel like that's very smart. I feel like that's very smart. I thought about it halfway through, but this is my thing, right? This is why I kept doing live streams even when it got kind of painful, very painful. Is that we need groups, right? We need groups that aren't controlled. Like we need groups to like working live streams, and like, because we see like on some of my live streams, some people are great, not just great links, but great ideas on what we can do. And I guess we have that, we do have that with the bigger organizations. We do have that. But that says, I mean, I'm just thinking like if we didn't have COINTELPRO, or crisis actors, or cyber placed agents, and we knew like when we came in here that like when somebody says they're a targeted individual, and we had that trust, like we would have huge groups and anybody could create a group and it wouldn't go south, right? It wouldn't go sour. There wouldn't be a bunch of infiltration and stuff like that. It's hard. I'm not gonna go into that. I love you guys. I love you guys. I'll be doing more. Just gotta switch it up. Like my targeting, what they're doing to my brain. I gotta reel stuff in. So many people need help, guys. Like so many target individuals are in so much pain. I wish I could just take away all the pain. But what I do, especially now, like with the new terrain that we're dealing with here, even though the torture is not stopped, is what's the best thing for me and you guys, right? What's the best thing for me and you guys is what I try and think of. And I'm going to be trying to think more and more, if my brain doesn't implode. All right, I love you guys. Just kind of wanted to ramble a little bit, let y'all know where I'm at. And I'm going to be trying to get some ideas from my mom too. Work with my mom, and eventually, yeah. I don't want to talk about some of the detailed stuff, right? I'll tell y'all after I do it. I'm going to be more careful about that. But right now, I think these contractors and security industry specialists that are hitting us, right now they're still going, right? They're still torturing us, but they're starting to get concerned about legal liability because all this stuff is coming out. So what I'm doing, and do what you feel is right, right? But as a targeted individual, I'm getting my name out to anybody who's dealing with this problem, so that it's on the record, and so that it's like my attackers can't be like, oh, we're just going to go ahead and kill him tonight. We'll just go ahead and stop his heart. All those letters are out, my first and last name with all of those senators, and it can be tracked, right? So I think it can safeguard us a lot. I think it can safeguard us a lot. Maybe not before all this stuff was coming out. You send your name to some senators and stuff like that, and they still do something, but they just say you were a crazy person, right? Like Myra May and the Navy Yard shooter, they both wrote letters about this. They both talked about it, but it wasn't even being like people were like, that doesn't even exist, right? So it was like, oh, the crazy rantings of a conspiracy theorist who was tinfoil hat wearing, right? But now if that happens, say a false flag happens and it's a targeted individual who's written about like what's happening to them, and they wrote all these senators, and then they have all these people being hit, and it's proven that they're being hit by directed energy weapons. It's a whole new ball game, right? So you see what I'm saying? Stack it up, stack it up, stack it up. Your legitimization with all these senators, your name is on file so that if something does happen, which your attackers are going to be like, well, we can't do this dangerous stuff because this stuff's coming out. You see what I'm saying? Y'all see where I'm going with this? You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So that's what's on my mind, and it's very, very hard for me to get paperwork done. I was actually I'm not gonna do this. I don't think I am. I'm going. I have to see my psychiatrist tomorrow, and I did not fill my GDA. I know she's gonna say something about that, and she's gonna be like, "Oh, people getting hit with directed energy weapons. I didn't hear about it." And she's just gonna treat it the same way. Like what? I was thinking a little bit. I wasn't thinking about it seriously, but it crossed my mind. I was like, maybe I should get on Adderall or something like it for just a couple of months so I could really think, because they've messed up. Like, well, I'm gonna do it the natural way, you know. But it was a little jokey thought, like I need to get on some Adderall or something for the next couple of months and just do it. I don't think that would be a good idea. Kind of a joke, and I've never taken Adderall or anything except in college. I took it a couple of times to study, but it wasn't my forget that. Forget I said anything about anything. All right, guys, I love y'all. Let's face things with a lot of assertiveness and as much love as we can. Love, when you love somebody, you care for them, you send them a free. It can heal cells. It can heal. It can heal us. You know, that's why they want to keep us away from love. That's why they want to keep us hating each other and everything like that, because it's death. Love is life. Become earnest about the word, for as to the word, its first part is faith, the second love, the third works, for from these come life. Faith, love, and works, right? That's what create. That's what protects life, heals life. Um, what's the thing that I always used to love? The way to say it. You just protect life on earth. Do no harm, heal, and everything, and love, faith, love, and works. I love this. I love this. Sending you good vibes. Sending you good vibes. Paragraph on here. Jesus on love and compassion. All right, guys. I love y'all. I'll see y'all soon. I'll probably see y'all soon because I'll be putting together some informational videos and stuff like that. Um, I don't think I'll be getting into editing yet. I'm gonna kind of just do, you know, shorter videos to give out information. You guys, please comment if you got something you want me to speak on. Email me. I'll be checking my emails more, and I'm still gonna be in contact with people, you know. But you know, switch it on up because it's not. I mean, we've got a little ways to go, and my brain was about the wheels were about to fall off my brain, and I feel like by tightening it up, I do like the remote neural manipulation is very bad, and I don't want to say I'm compromising with my attackers. Um, Definitely not that, but just a lot of variables. When you're dealing with a lot of variables, and then there are a bunch of variables that you don't even know about, it's not a good place to be, right? Or variables that you're confused about. I want to, and I think everybody does this. And like we know what we're doing. Real target individuals that put ourselves out there. We know their risks, but sometimes there's risks that you don't even know about, right? Sometimes there's risks that you know exist, but you're not even sure where they're coming at you. You know. All right, I babbled on about that. I didn't want to talk about that at all. I just wanted to like do the video, but maybe since I got it out there, then we can kind of move forward. here. Um, I love you guys. I'll see you. Okay, just have a great weekend, and we will definitely be in touch.